We'll see. More than likely. We'll see if it's either their 5 or obviously, I assume it's the Rubik ABBA is the 4-3 here in a lane, but we've seen some 5 ABBA still even at this tournament.
Like, Coddle and SD are both available if they wanted to take it afterwards as like a 5.
I can't believe this Coddle is still chilling in there. I still think that hero is like the hero of this patch.
Well, there you go. That's what the Pango you're talking about.
Yeah.
Take it.
For
Snap it up.
Yeah.
And it does kind of, so you give away your support duo now. More than like, I mean, it could be a 3. Have we seen a 3 enchant in a while?
Yeah, there were some that were running it. Yeah, okay. I think Ghost Stick runs it too. So I think that.
Yeah, you're right. He's an Ench player.
Yeah, he was spamming like 2-3. One of the first line I went to WESG and he was just playing it every single game. I was like, all right, Ghost Stick, this dude's a beast.
It's different from him, like some of the other ones they plays, because the other ones I think of as like Axe, as like a Ghost Stick hero or a Legion, like those initiators. So it's a little bit of a different like style in some ways, but they can make up for that with like having immersion initiate maybe. I don't know. I
mean, yeah, because I imagine they will stick with it as the offlane, but obviously the Jara I think is a very good pick against it in the sense that, you know, obviously you have a high amount of magic damage, you're going to have the flak that you're hitting other targets, so the attack speed slow doesn't matter because you're never directly hitting the Enchantress. Sure, there's that point where you have to factor in the impetus, and you know Gyro can be very vulnerable to that amount of damage, but you've got a lot of save, right? You've not only got the Abandon, but you've also got a Shadow Demon, and the Shadow Demon, another hero that's going to really mess with the Ench down the line.
Well, and also the Chrono too, right? Like that's the other thing, is you can save in the Chrono. I think that it was basically between that and Coddle, and as far as other reasons to go, it's kind of a nice setup for your Gyro to get on top of somebody in the lane, like that Ench, like you're talking about.
And then, what are we looking for from Spirit? Obviously, it seems it might either be that 5 or that 3, whatever. I think we'll know what the enchant is after this pick.
I mean, you can still just go Coddle here, right?
If you want, yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any reason not to really.
Would you have too many cooldowns then with the Void and the Keeper of the Light? It's kind of, you use both those in a team fight, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably want something with a bit more disable, right? Because at the moment it's just the Chrono and the Rolling Thunder. You've got no stuns, you've got no catch.
Go like Shaman, maybe.
Yeah.
Although that's, I don't know.
But at the same time, it's not going to be easy, right? Because EHOME have so much save. You know, they've got a lot of heroes that are very good at sort of countering those early plays when you do try and go for the hero pickoffs.
Yeah, and you can dispel the shackles and stuff too, so that makes it kind of tough. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird game right now.
There you go, Timber. I'm curious what's that for, because it's Ghost. He's talking a lot.
Yeah, so I imagine so with that, they are going to move the Ench into a support position out of the offlane, or do they play the Timber mid or safe or something crazy?
I think hypothetically they could play it
still
mid.
Open.
Yeah. It depends on what the matchup is, I guess.
Because I wonder if, as you see, you know, the Ench was going to be offlane, but because of like this Gyro, this SD, they're like, we've got to move it down to a support position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting draft from Team Spirit, because you look at EHOME, it's like this well-rounded, like all these heroes. You kind of see a lot pretty easy. And then on the other side, it's like, you got a Pango, you've got a Timber Saw, so you have a lot of damage. It's just kind of this unconventional. When do you see a Pango Timber Saw together, really?
Oh, that's a good pick. I like that one a lot.
They go Tiny instantly. Yeah, they love it. Why do you like it?
Because they needed something that was like low like opportunity cost of like initiation. You can jump in, try and get a toss back, or just toss somebody, and then like have a follow up with any of those heroes. Like you're talking about, there's a ton of damage there. So now you can like start the fight with Tiny and then end the fight with a Chrono if you need to.
Yeah.
I mean, and hey, you know, it's a 5-core lineup. You know what I mean? Let's go. This is how they want to do their best to
Let's just get everyone should get some items. Yeah.
I don't know if I like it, but that's what they're running with here, Spirit.
Well, and to go back to my point before, like EHOME, get BKBs, end the game. That's been their MO so far.
Yeah.
So I think if this goes late already, I'm just going to be favoring Team Spirit no matter what. The question is the Razor good enough to end the game? And I think it is. I think that might be.
It's a strong, a lane-dominating pick right here with that Razor. So we see both the lineups. Team Spirit's definitely, as we said, a little more unconventional. EHOME,
he's feeling good.
You know what they're going to do, yeah. Man.
I don't know. Yeah, Spirit's definitely gone for the greed, but Yeah, as you say, Lyrical, if this game goes on, they're going to have 5 cores scaling on, whereas, EHOME, they're pretty support heavy. This Rubik, Aber, SD could sort of, they're not going to have that sort of core potential necessarily as much as Spirit has. Sure, you could argue the Aber might, but in a lot of the recent games, we've seen the Aber offlane tend to fall off pretty heavily. So if all things go to plan and it's a normal game of Dota 2, I think this should be a walk in the park for EHOME. But if crazy stuff happens, EHOME start to choke, Spirit gets the chance to get this game past 30 minutes, you're suddenly having to fight against a lineup that has 5 carries. And that should favor Spirit in the late game. I just think it's going to be very hard for them to get there because this looks like an incredibly greedy draft from Spirit.
Yeah. I think, to me, the key hero, Tiny, if he has a really good game, he could maybe carry them through that dangerous part as we get a little bit of a group hug action going on from EHOME over there. But that's the hero to watch for me is Tiny.
Okay, and we kind of talked about VT Fate a little bit. He was playing a lot of Gyro TI, so you put him on a more comfortable hero, which you talked about. Like, just get him on that hero. He won't make mistakes. Gyro, one of those. It's not that flashy, but you can make that hero look very good.
I don't know. This Ench and Pango, I don't know how they're going to set things up early on. I think, EHOME, it looks like this should just be easy for EHOME, if I'm honest. I really do think EHOME's just sort of stuck to the plans. Spirit's just everyone. It doesn't look like a draft. It just looks like everyone sort of just picked what they want to play. I want to play this. I want to play that. Here's a load of cores. I'll be incredibly impressed if it works, but I don't think it will.
Okay. So we got one on the way of EHOME. Lyrical, it sounded like you were definitely also leaning towards EHOME a little bit.
I'm gonna ride that fence and say EHOME, but Tiny might be the one that makes it happen.
He could make it happen.
Ride the fence.
What do you reckon, Grant?
Well, I reckon that we're going to have a damn good game, my friend. You know who's going to be the true winner? It's going to be the viewers at home, because we're going to toss it to our casters. It's the hottest new couple on the block. It's going to be Cap, and it's going to be Trent.
Thank you, Grant. That's right. We're going to be your casters for Team Spirit versus EHOME. We've got back-to-back CIS versus China matchups. In my humble opinion, Trent, I think these are going to be the hypest best-of-one elimination matches, these two.
I think so as well. I'm ready. I wasn't sure I was going to come out there. Man, they were good. They wouldn't let me interrupt your intro there. Did you see that? They had me muted that whole time. They don't trust me. They don't trust my abilities here.
I mean, I slipped them a 5. I told them Trent only talks when he's spoken to,
They're just going to cut me off in
I
between
had to establish
questions.
this power dynamic really early with you.
Yeah, started out very quick here.
I let my last relationship push me around too much,
I mean, by the end of it, you were so angry, you were abusing him. Live on camera.
Nothing a little cold water can't fix,
Yeah, I hear you. But, guys, it's time. Please ignore the markers at the top of your screen. Best of 3? I don't think so. Admin,
no.
Fix it. Next game. It's best of ones, guys. This is what you've been waiting for, and,
and EHOME are going to start off with first blood, so not going to be feeling too great about this start. They're still going to be able to get the 2 bounty runes as well as that first blood. And ILTW is matched up against the Core Abated.
You hate this. I guess you love this because you're an ABBA player, but I hear you harp on this all the time. It's just like, I don't know why they're not picking the ABBA, because the ABBA messes this guy up in lane.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, right? It's a silence that you apply that lasts longer than the time walk. Like, anything that you can stun the Void for longer than the 2 seconds where he's able to rewind all the damage. On top of that, it's a melee versus melee matchup. You're always going to be happy with this sort of matchup.
It's interesting, too, because the curse, at level 1, it has the full duration. It kind of reminds me like the Coddle thing, where it's like level 1, it has the 70% miss chance, kind of the same idea, where it's just like, it has that really crazy strength thing just like instantly.
Yeah.
So you can't just start playing around with it early on, and they're not even bothering to try and help out ILTW. As you can see, he's still alone there, while Misha's, doing Enchantress things. This does look like the pub Ench that Owen was describing.
Yeah, it really does. Like, Team Spirit just picked all heroes that they just wanted to play, and including a 4-position Pango from Immersion, which I'm not sure how much that's going to be able to help out Ghostix lane, but we'll have to see how that goes. Ergon's going to be playing against, as Tiny against Mid-Razor, which I have to assume isn't going to feel great either.
No, very low armor, right? I mean, that's one category you like versus Razor. You're like, that's not good. He's a melee hero. Well, that's probably not very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Things are adding up to be in Razor's favor here. The early levels, though, he can still duke it out pretty well.
Well, Misha's time spent away from the lane paid off big time. He managed to get the Satyr Tormentor, and he's just going to be reapplying this enchant over and over again, and that'll fix ILTW's lane, hopefully a little bit.
Isn't it funny that Chen used to be able to just do this level 1? Just like, just bring this guy in, and he would just hang out the whole time. Like, that is one thing that Ench still has, even though it's just going to be constant refresh, but that HP regen can help out a lot.
9-7, getting a little bit low. I was telling you I'm calling him the anti-super because his win rate on superheroes, like Razor, is very low. He seems to have a very low win rate on Razor, DK, Viper, like all those heroes.
Yes, so legendary super of the one of the most stable core players in terms of like the heroes he likes. He plays them, he does this thing. But yeah, this guy, his 3 most played, I believe, are Shadow Fiend, Queen of Pain, and Invoker. So he's the styly kind, the flashy one.
And you pointed out that he's been on the grind for a while, this 897 guy.
Well, yeah, because I started, looking up the teams and everything, and 897, it's like, usually I first thing of my thought was like, was this guy like some other name? These guys have been switching a lot of names in China, but no, this guy's just been grinding. FTD Club C, FTD Club A, made it to the main team of For the Dream, and then eventually working his way all the way up to EHOME. So doesn't have a long list of medals or career earnings, but that's the grind that's going to bring him to the earnings now that he's here on EHOME.
It's like he
if they don't
skipped
get
a grade at one
here.
point, by the way. The FTDC all the way to FTDA.
Oh,
he just skipped over B entirely. They saw it. He's like, this guy's good. This guy's got promise.
Maybe
Tossed back by Ergon, but not a whole lot doing with that.
He's getting a lot of punches in there, though.
Yeah, he's doing very well, by the way.
Yeah.
Tiny versus Razor. This is, I mean, sure, you've got the tree, and I guess that gives you CS at the start against the static link. But I would expect by now the lane should start going against you.
There was a couple awkward-looking moments, too, where 897 had to, like, TP back to the tower as well, because I think he got tossed over to someone else who was rotating. I think it might have been Y who was coming up.
Yeah.
Or not Y. Well, maybe it was. But either way, Tiny was able to, like, kind of mess them all around.
How's this bottom lane going? Ghost Stick is level 3 in top CS, so this is going great for Team Spirit so far. I think these laning matchups are going better than maybe they should. I'm not sure.
Maybe the only downside is that the Pango is like not getting that much because you're trying to give as much as you can early to the Timber, and Pango is one of these supports that's pretty greedy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long I want to be chilling on level 2 as this hero. He's close to the 3, though, and, Immersion, expert Earth Spirit player. That's the first thing I think of when I see this guy. But you can see he's a gold tier Pango. This guy's on the grind with this hero as well.
Misha being chased away by Jin Q. Trying to establish dominance for this bounty rune control, and should be able to get it. Satyr Tormentor won't be able to get the deny, but it looks like it's going to be Innocence Y who's going to be caught trying to go for a bounty rune himself.
Zenki's the Atos buyer, right? This is his build, his Rubik. He likes getting those early Atoses. It's pretty good this game. You have a Razor, you have a Gyro, you have an Abba as your offlane. Like, you do need a little bit more control to help out with the team.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. It would set up Razor for a lot of success. Three of these heroes really hate Rod of Atos.
That's why Y's got the 4 Observer Ward play. This is the, all right, guys, I've been really busy. I promise it's nighttime. I'm going to get the wards out. Someone pinged you. Oh, and
been putting all his efforts into shutting down a Timbersaw. That didn't really quite work. Misha is going to be dying here trying to trade his life for Jin Q, but they won't be able to get that kill. Looks like the Satyr Tormentor out of mana. So they won't be able to get that last nuke in, and they're going to force the Void to TP back as well.
And now Y's here, though, after dropping 3 of his wards. Oh, there goes the 4th.
So Vision for days. Did he get spotted at all? Well, he certainly did now.
Now he is.
ILTW just keeps on getting beaten back, and they are going to try and get that 4th hit in for the silence, but TP's coming in from the Pango. And Faith Beyond saying, well, this isn't worth it anymore. They are going to be able to get the time dilation on him after the aphotic shield, but the tri-lane versus tri-lane matchup now. Ooh, Urkon almost killed 897.
Oh, he's coming.
Jeez. Just a few more seconds on the cooldown to think otherwise he would have dove for that kill for sure. Immersion's
Dude,
actually
the
trying to play
dragons.
around here.
Dude,
Can he actually get him, the dragons stuff? No.
His passive rocked on the dragons all the way up here. Oh, if only.
Yeah, good thing it wasn't Prowlers or he'd be dead.
Yeah. Observer Ward will allow him to stay nice and hidden here. Wants to keep an eye on these stacks, perhaps.
I'm always a bit concerned about the Timber Saw
Back mid.
void lanes.
No.
9-7, slowing him down. But
Ergon went for it. He did the full combo, but with Immersion
Yeah.
nearby, I thought maybe they could turn it.
the Timber Saw, when he has a good lane, you know, and then he just like, he becomes really strong for that 15 to 25 minutes, that completely covers up the Void's typical timing where he feels kind of weak. Big concern right now for EHOME that these lanes just have not gone well enough for him.
Yeah, as long as the Timber doesn't feed. I mean, Timber is like such an easy hero to hate if he like tries to play behind a tier 1 right now and just dies. Even if it's like a 3 or a 4-man rotation, you think like, oh, I'm making a lot of space. Timber just like, he needs that full-on momentum going, and Ghost has been playing it pretty safe. Like, it doesn't seem like he's been pressuring that hard down here. But with the level 6 and his arcane boots now, you'd expect he wants to get like a free pick onto Xingqiu while he tries to leech under this tower.
897. A little bit twitchy there with the fingers, pops his Eye of the Storm. The first sign of aggression from Immersion.
And this is spotted by this ward here too, that he's really low doing this camp.
Is it going to be low enough? Well, with Ergon coming in, it certainly would be. But can they slow him down? They need to be able to get the proc. They do get that much. Now they need vision for a toss, but 897 already turning back around as he's popped the healing salve. Does get in melee range of Ergon here, and he's going to start sapping away some of his damage. He wants to push back Immersion with all that damage. He almost kills him.
Jeez, what a read, dude. That's so scary to go into like that with like 200 HP, but, you know, he's counting the spells, and, well, there's that free kill, as expected. I mean, you're in Arcane Boots Timber, and the Rubik was level 4, while Gyro, like, walked back to the fountain and TP'd top. Like, you're just trying to get as much as you can before you die.
Yeah, this is the classic feeding the support hero to Timber Saw to try and slow down his push.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, there's all these creeps here. If I could just go in and kill some of those creeps, get the experience, it would decrease the pressure on the tower. I'd get some experience. It'd be worth dying.
Oh, and this is where the math adds up. Because now the Timber comes top, and the support Pango has a lane. And he's pretty survivable as a support hero, right? Like, you can do some pretty greedy leeching, or you can just rotate mid. That's
Stacks,
cool.
Batman.
Who wants a free lane?
Okay, Ghost Stick really going for it here, but it's going to get silenced up. One more Timber Chain is not going to come out in time. Silenced up, and now, Trent, you said, as long as Ghost Stick doesn't feed, well, guess what? He just fed. Now, 3-man Chronosphere, but he didn't catch 897. Oh, no. Team Spirit.
Well, Immersion had a free lane bottom. He TP's mid to meet up with ILTW, and they all walk in there for a chrono. But there's no damage if the Timber's dead. And then they still went for it.
Meanwhile, Xingqiu's like, man, this is chill.
Man, I'm so glad that Pango
Like, yeah, I had to die once to the Timber Saw, but I came right back. I'm
I
just
got
chilling
2
out in this
bounties.
lane. My team is winning fights without me. I got 2 bounties. I'm going to have level 6 pre-tome, by the way. So he's going to have level 7 with his tome coming in.
Jeez.
And sure enough, he is going to go the Rod of Atos.
That was a disaster.
Yeah, it wasn't
That
great.
really couldn't have gone much worse. I mean, the only thing worse is, I guess, those other heroes die, but that was just so much wasted time, wasted chrono.
I mean, it's kind of weird seeing a Timber Saw rotate this early, right? Level 7, like, yeah, you're going to feel pretty good, but it's not the Putter Defiance level 9 Timber Saw.
I think
you know
what I liked about it was that he was rotating top to stop the free counter push onto his tower, and then I thought Pango was supposed to stay bottom, and I thought Void was going to spend more time jungling.
Yeah.
But the Void decided that he wants to make use of the chrono and use his strong Timber, which is fair, but they synced up incorrectly. Like, Timber is just, you know, if Timber was alive and outside of that chrono, that would be so much damage, for sure. But, alas.
All right, well, now Misha's going to be caught by Xingqiu in 897. Seems like EHOME just have a better read of where to be playing around the map right now. As with all this pressure, it looks like they may be able to take this top tower. And again, stacks on stacks on stacks. Dude, Innocence, he's just been doing this non-stop as the Shadow Demon.
That's the best thing about Shadow Demon and Keeper of the Light even. Like, it's so easy to double stack, too. Safety TP in there. He does have the Stolen Chakra right now on Xingqiu, so very scary. Or Chakram, rather.
They do have a good Timbersaw killing duo in Rubik's Shadow Demon, right? Soul Catcher to lower his HP, and then that pure damage from a Stolen Chakram.
Yeah, it is a hard game to play that Tier 1, Tier 2 style Timber where you're like right in between. So I like him dead laning like this, you know? Trying to hold off these pushes. As long as, you know, the rest of the team just don't feed. This is still okay.
Ghostic gets telekinesis mid Timber Chain there, but they're not trying to push it too far, nor should they. There's actually Immersion hitting behind that tower, and he is level 6. So if they overcommit for this Timbersaw, it would be disaster for EHOME.
God, Razor's so good at just like clearing up stacks or like stealing stacks in the enemy jungle. Not a lot of heroes that can really do that well.
All right, time to finally push Ghostic completely away from this Tier 1 and finish that tower. It's been a long time coming, I feel like, but they finally get it.
Team Spirit really got outmaneuvered in that whole equation between like the Timber pushing bottom, and he could have had this tower for free, but he wanted to defend top, and then they end up still losing that tower first, while EHOME's able to allow a Gyro to still get a little bit of farm here.
Yep. 4-2, 3,000 net worth lead already for EHOME. But Team Spirit, they do have a relatively greedy lineup, right? They've got Void, they've got 2 very greedy supports, an Enchantress and Pango.
Speaking of greedy, they're going to try a smoke rotation without the Chrono. So showing that Void very clearly down bottom. Trying to use the Timbersaw for a kill here on E970. He has the TP. And they're a little lost. Now they got him.
Be a very big kill. They need to be able to pull Timbersaw over just to make it a little bit faster to burst him down. Sure enough, they get that kill. And now maybe with the Razor out of the equation, they can TP in on the Timbersaw. Now the Timbersaw does have massive number of stacks, but that's a lot of magic damage. Almost dying straight up. Faith Beyond trying to get that silence complete. Does manage to get the missiles. Going to bonk him. They just need a little bit more magic damage, but Immersion, he's slowing him down. But fortunately, Xingqiu is there just in time to be able to get that last Fate Bolt in. Chronosphere out to be able to lock down the 2. Trying to get Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond may have a chance to get the Mist Coil off, but no. The burst damage just comes a little bit too fast. Xingqiu with a nifty little play to get away from the Void, but a first hit bash solves all of Team Spirit's problems.
Man, I actually thought he was going to live there. That was a pretty nice play with all those stacks. If he just had, like, maybe if the Ench was able to TP, but she had already used her TP.
Or maybe like slightly less aggressive TP.
Yeah.
Like maybe behind your Tier 1 tower rather than like as far forward as you could possibly be.
He went for the, like, it was a bluff, basically, right? And they kind of called him on it. He's like, yo, I totally got someone in the tree line right now. You guys have no idea. And it turned out he did not. That's a Midas.
That is indeed a Midas ILTW. He needs his comeback because his lane was a little rough.
He's looking at his allies. He's like, yo, guys, late. We got this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a motivational Midas.
That's why EHOME just got to keep up the pace, right? Like, sure,
that's
doing
not
fine
where
for
you wanted
themselves,
to
dear. Ghostic. He's going to be caught now. Immersion's going to make his way through, but he's not hitting the gyrocopters, the main source of magic damage. He's going to focus on Innocence instead. Not quite enough damage to be able to burst him down. He does a shield crash, but nowhere to be able to run to. So EHOME clean him up instead of the Timbersaw that was their original prey. Now time to hit that mid tower, looks like. Look at that, Faith Beyond. Miscoiling the Siege Wagon to keep it alive. Now
giving it Medallion even. A Photic Shield, everything for my Catapult. Oh, and then it just dies because your core player's not willing to make the same sacrifice. I see.
Yeah, that's a classic safe lane. Not thinking about the team, just himself. But Misha, a little bit surprised he did manage to get out of that river area. That was an awkward position. But 3 levels of Nature's Attendance. He is deceptively tanky for a 5 position.
Yeah, not the best game for the Untouchable. So the build working out here.
All right, well, who needs creeps when you're taking down a Tier 1 mid tower? Now, Misha gets a little bit too close to them, trying to go for the deny, and he will pay for it.
Jeez, they got to be really careful there. A lot of bleeding right now. Nice pick. Okay, Ergon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ergon, who used to play with several members of the J197 team. ILTW forced to use a defensive chronosphere to protect himself.
Oh, he's not even done yet.
Mid lane. Jin Q, he's got the setup right now. He's got Avalanche stolen. Doesn't reveal himself on Ghost yet because they know they don't have quite enough. He has to do it now as Faith Beyond forced to use his borrowed time there as well.
What is keeping this so close right now? I guess the gyro, his farm is like a little lower than you might expect.
Yeah, they farmed so many stacks that I would have thought EHOME was farther ahead.
Yeah, and like the tower too.
They've been grouping up a lot. Like they've been showing 2 cores in one lane quite a bit. They get the pick off on Innocence there with Ergon and his Blink Dagger. Now they're going to try and take over this mid area. 897 has already taken the bottom tower, so you can come over. Faith Beyond trying to be a target here, but Faith Beyond is going to get nice. Immersion getting himself stuck on the cliff for Max, but he didn't actually pop the shield crash fast enough. Now, with the stolen Rubik rolling around, it actually knocks Team Spirit around quite a bit. The telekinesis stunning 2 of them, and finally enough stall time that 897 is here, but perhaps it's too late. Jin Q's already dead, as is Faith Beyond. 897, can he really do a whole lot here? He's going to try and go for Immersion, chase him right into VT Faded. A cute little play by EHOME does manage to defend their tower, but it costs them 2 of their heroes in the process.
Yeah, Rubik, the self-bait there, I think, on that Pango ult. It's like, oh, yes, I got Pango ult, and he goes in, he just kind of ends up dying anyway.
Yeah, that's
deceptively
something that,
tanky, though, jeez.
With his Rod of Atos build, yeah, all those stats, 1,500 HP.
Yeah, he's the same HP as the Razor.
897 going to be caught, big amounts of burst damage, and yeah.
I mean, he looked
They gotta be
tankier
more
than
careful.
that. That's all I would say.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Oh, another steal there. Oh, gets the tree. Not the best.
Yeah, not the best at all. Why? He still has disruption. It looks like he wants to try and bait in the Timbersaw a little bit more, but no one's helping him out here until finally Jin Q shows up, but the Chakram does manage to clip Innocence. He'll fall now, and the Timbersaw easily gets out.
Oh, Xingqiu didn't steal it. What's he waiting for?
With the double damage, they'll be able to beat down Jin Q. Nobody can really fight this Timbersaw right now, it seems.
I was like looking at his spell steal. I was like, all right, he's just waiting the 1 second because he wants that tree, like the Timber Chain, and then he just didn't take it, and then he just died. I was like, oh, all right.
Well,
not prepared for the blink timing, it would seem.
I know EHOME, they have a really good mid-game lineup, but it's really concerning that they just can't seem to do anything about this Timbersaw.
It feels like some of these tier 2s were kind of free. I feel like top tier 2 could have just been free if they just played up there a little bit longer with their heroes. And maybe it's like VT Faded's been kind of uninvolved, and so he's waiting for the BKB and just chilling out a little bit. Whereas it looked like when they were balling with this ABBA, they were just completely unstoppable.
This is I mean, the rushed BKB. Not trying to go for the Aghanim Scepter builds first, and that's a bit more of a farm-oriented build. This early BKB, they are all in on the mid game. That means they're also going to fall off really fast.
Oh jeez, don't give credit to these 5-core lineups, please. I don't want to see more of these.
I know Grant was a fan. He's a big turbo player.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of the production crew here, I know, are BTS turbo fiends. Oh, no, they love the turbo. I see them turbo. I think Dakota is head turbo gamer. You know, that's his jam. It's the dad game mode. You know.
Where's the turbo tournament?
What?
Huh? Moonduck's the author of all these
I don't
wacky-ass
do
Dota
turbo.
tournaments. Where's a Moonduck Turbo tournament?
Dude, I don't know how that game mode works. I just play it and I get so confused. Everything feels so wrong. People are coming to lane with a bracer and I'm like, oh yeah, right. Fairy regen. I don't know. I can't handle it. Turbo's too good for me. It's too difficult.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, this is the OD Pixel build. It's supposed to be Midas into Maelstrom into Battle Fury, but he stopped off for a BKB instead. Only wants 2 farming items.
He has so much to learn.
Jeez, what?
ILTW.
What is Ench so mad about?
Yeah, that's a good question.
she won a hell bear or something?
That was some real spam.
That's oh, no, I see. I see what she's mad about. Dude, get out. Get out. They are smoking. That's a support player
I mean,
right
the
there.
weird part was ILTW kind of ignored him.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I've got time to farm this camp.
He's like, oh, my God.
And now he's going to be found. He does manage to time walk away. Get the vision. Get the vision.
Dude, where's
BT
that?
faded. Hello.
Did they not see him?
They definitely saw him. What?
All right,
Dude,
that was
BT
weird.
faded was
that,
real slow on the call down.
I think he must have thought that Y was closer for the Shadow Poison. But yeah, he should have just called it. That would have been free.
They get the vision. Jin Q is able to telekinesis, and that's a dead void. A dead void, by the way, who's almost over the 10,000 net worth mark already. Most farmed in the game by a decent mark, considering he's matched up against a gyrocopter here that usually farms much faster than Ghost Stick. Okay, he whiffed a tree. Those trees don't move, by the way, and as a result, he's going to be paying the ultimate price. That, well, you know,
It's a best of one elimination. You know, the nerves are coming out, I guess.
I guess so.
What's the story on this Observer Sentry in the mid lane here? They're both full duration are going to die next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's you don't see that very often.
Apparently just nobody's walked that way. Fortunately, with Ghost Stick feeding away his life there, that is EHOME seeing an opportunity to be able to get the Roshan with this Aegis, with the BKB. This is EHOME saying, this is our time.
Yeah.
We're going to start running at you. Team Spirit, they're going to have to weather the storm for the next 10 minutes until they get that next round of items.
What's our chrono damage is looking all right, though. We got Treads Ench almost up to level 12. That's a pretty serious amount of damage right now for a support hero. Our Tiny's good. He's got the blink as well, so he can move in and out of the chrono. Like in terms of like his positioning around it can be either I need to kill some guy who's stuck inside, or I can target whoever you've missed, which is very good. And then our Timbersaw almost up to level 15 too. So I like what they have. Now our cooldowns on the Radiant though, there really aren't any. So if they blow this chrono, this could be very scary for Team Spirit.
They could definitely just keep running at you.
Yeah, the old respawn, reload towards your towers.
The is Aghanim's Razor any good now? Remember when that was the thing? It would allow you to be able to push buildings so fast. They changed it, right? Now it strikes 2 different units instead of 1.
Yeah, it's. I think it's still like one of those. Whoa!
Good kill.
Wow. All right.
A big pick off there for EHOME, and that can translate into a tier 2 tower.
He's got the Soul Catcher illusion. Does he know he took it? Yo, why?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Did you press the 1 or the 2 there, dog? He's. Now he just
like
stopped his TP. He's like, oh, okay, let's go, boy.
Okay. He's got a Void Illusion now.
Go get that tower. Huh.
All right, well, this is a very slow death for Misha, but it looks like they are going to get him eventually here. It's just one more swing from Jin Q does get it. Solar Crest plus the abandoned Curse of Avernus, and they actually were almost hitting him like normal.
Yeah, I would not have expected that. Just looking at those 2 heroes, I thought Ench would be more survivable against that. I thought they had a Spirit Vessel for a second. I was like clicking their heroes like, damn, she's really getting destroyed here.
They do manage to take the tier 2 mid as well as bringing the tier 3 bottom to half HP. Team Spirit certainly going to be feeling some of the pressure, and that's why you see Urgon just pushing out top so aggressively. He's trying to get an Aghanim Scepter, which will be 3 high ground defense with the Chronosphere.
It's really hard to play this way as Tiny when you don't have the Shadow Blade too, when you're like only relying on the blink, because he can't afford to go towards anything else. He pretty much has to go Aghanims and probably crit item. So he just has to like total tree line play this. And we've already seen that they do have the vision heroes for this too. So if he can manage to keep this up without getting picked off, that would be very impressive, but difficult. Now,
Who are you kind of favoring right now?
I want to say EHOME, but I've felt that way for the past 10 minutes, and not much has changed.
Yeah.
But I think still EHOME.
Pick off on Ghost Stick, that's going to be another 5%, I'm sure, as he just cannot get out of these Rod of Atoses into the Curse of Avernus. He doesn't really have an answer to that with his build too much. He just has the Lotus Orb. No secondary set of Dispels.
I don't know if you can really. Does he just do that? Go right back for the Greaves? That's what he's got queued up for now.
Yeah, that's and maybe his best option.
Yeah, because he's already got the pipe. Yeah, I guess it kind of is. And it feels like he needs that second dispel.
I mean, what else? Like, you could go BKB. I'm not sure if that feels super great.
Yeah,
but
Yules doesn't feel very good.
Immersion.
Man, quiet game for a support Pango, I feel like. I feel like they're always like super aggressive all the time.
He's going to be giving away a lot of damage to this Razor. 201 soaked up. But he does have a Yules himself, and that will help them a lot against that Rod of Atos picked up by Shin Q.
I think not losing a tier 3 here was a win for Team Spirit. I really thought they were going to get a tier 3, like at least like heavily pressured during this Aegis.
It definitely seemed like EHOME was like, they can't beat us. We just 5-man and roll into them. But they played a little bit safe by going for the tier 2 mid instead and collecting that.
And ILTW never chronoed. That's the other big thing.
Yeah.
So like they're probably going to smoke up and try and time this chrono for the end of the Aegis. At least that would be the optimal play here. 15 more seconds on this Aegis. For the love of God, do not fight if you are Team Spirit right now. That's just the worst.
Misha, Lotus Orb does help him out a little bit, but looks like he's going to be chased down by the Gyrocopter. Meanwhile, all of Urgon's damage has been stolen away. They go for the Chronosphere, but there's no damage to follow this up anymore. ILTW by himself is sitting there trying to beat down Shin Q, but it's not even close. He's forced to pop his BKB and TP away, but the damage coming out from the Razor, he had stolen so much that they actually managed to just beat him down. Now actually stopping Ghosting's Timber Chain away. They don't care about him whatsoever. They're saying, let's just go hit some buildings, man. There's no Void, there's no Chronosphere. All we could do is just hurt ourselves by chasing heroes. Let's focus on the
This is all they've been waiting for. It's just that Chrono being gone, get some creeps moving in their favor, and they're looking to close this one out. We have a half duration DD still left on Faded as he starts to chuck this one down.
Well, Yule Scepter takes that one away, but it's not slowing EHOME down too much. As you could already see, Urgon, he's not even here. I think this might be the right choice. I don't think they can stop this push.
They need a big chakram as well as the immersion ulti. It's like the only way they can do something here. But I mean, your best bet is trying to target down the BKB gyro. I mean, yeah, that's an expected outcome right there.
Time to back up. They don't even go for shrines. Gyrocopter is thinking about the farm right now, wants to hit top. He's very close to the Diffusal Blade, which is a pretty big pickup against heroes like this Timbersaw and Void.
Oh, they're trying to make a play into Faith Beyond here. Level 19, man, this ABBA is so farmed.
Disruption's going to be able to buy him some time. Immersion doesn't actually hit 897. Urgon will be okay to TP away, though. Immersion getting a little bit too close, though. You got to remember, there's a Shadow Demon, there's a Rod of Atos Rubik. You can't get too close to this team.
Yeah, the stuns are not immense, but the slows.
Yeah.
I mean, slows everywhere right here from EHOME.
Also, he's really got to stop giving away Rolling Thunder. I think that time it was just good play by Jin Q, because he did try and shield crash right away, but that's one of those errors that could just kill an entire team fight for.
Yeah, it's one of the top tier spells. It's like right up there. It's like on the tier below Ice Path and Fissure, but that next tier of like the very best spells, other than those ones, it's Rolling Thunder.
Level 20 coming in soon for the Razor, so he can get that 10 armor if he wants. Level 20 for the Gyrocopter, so he's zooming around non-stop. 9,000 net worth lead for EHOME and approaching the second lane of Barracks. See if Team Spirit are going to have better luck with this next Chronosphere. Now, right now, ILTW isn't even there. He's trying to finish up his Mjolnir, hoping that his team can defend without him, but they can't really seem to do a whole lot.
EHOME's positioning says it all. It just says, we know you can't fight us.
Urgon, he tried and threw down a tree volley. Now he's trying to get close to the avalanche, but he's just been immediately targeted by 897, who's going to pop his BKB. They have to go for the Chronosphere to be able to save him, but it's not fast enough. He couldn't get there in time to be able to save his Tiny, and now, once again, they have no damage to throw inside the Chronosphere, especially since the Timber Saw was inside. The Timber Saw is now going to be cleaned up after his try and jump away, but this is just looking like a stomp trend. EHOME are going to roll down the rest of Team Spirit, and this is elimination, so Team Spirit are going to try and hold on as best they can. 2 lanes of racks down. But I'm not sure if anything's going to stall EHOME from just going for that last lane. Look at them. They're just straight from top, straight to middle. Don't even worry about shrines or second row.
Someone's screaming on this team right now. They're just like, just go, kill them. Best of 1 elimination.
Dropped down the call down with the telekinesis tossed into ILTW. That's done. Leads to his death. No buyback from him. No buyback from Ghost Stick. And no second life here for Team Spirit at the MDL Major. They are the first team eliminated.
That is one stable draft. You know, they got the horses, the Clydesdales, the real nice, sturdy-looking horses out on the carriage, and EHOME just rode it to victory, man. I mean, you look at these heroes on the side of Team Spirit, and you think that mid-game was like a knife's edge. It had to be absolutely perfect. I seriously think that one play where, like, Timber dies to 3 heroes with the smoking in with the Chrono and the Tiny and the Pango, like, that actually can change your entire game. But the fact that you need those kind of plays at, like, 14 minutes says a lot about your draft.
Yeah, it was a questionable draft, for sure. I mean, Team Spirit, the panel joked about it just being all of their favorite heroes. Maybe they'll feel better going out on a loss there of all their best heroes.
It felt like they just kind of sacked a couple lanes. Like, the fact that you have an Ench starting in a jungle and a Pango basically starting punching a Shadow Demon to trade to give your Timber good levels early, it didn't feel like you put any pressure on the 3 cores of EHOME. The core that had the worst time was a Razor.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a Razor. He managed to figure out that lane after a couple levels.
So, EHOME, I mean, they just stick with Old Faithful, abandon Gyrocopter. It's in vogue right now for the meta for a good reason.
So hot right now.
EHOME, they're going to move on a little bit farther. Unfortunately, Team Spirit are out. But we do have another CIS versus China matchup. That's going to be coming up next. But first, we're going to talk about the panel. I'm sure they have tons to say for such a one-sided stomp.
We sure do, my friend. There's always a ton of stuff to say about Dota. And yeah, that was a little bit one-sided. It felt a little bit rough for Team Spirit. But I'm joined by Lyrical. I'm joined by OD Pixel. And I'm going to be joined further in the tournament by EHOME because they looked pretty good.
They did. Right here, what's that say? That says...
I am a boomer.
That's exactly right. That's what it says. It says end by 30 minutes. That's what EHOME does. My handwriting is terrible, so thank you for translating.
I try my best, yeah.
That's what they do. That's literally what they do.
They
just
did it.
BKB's 20 minutes, let's go, end the game.
I mean, you called it exactly. Like the gyro, he does the drums, BKB, doesn't need the damage.
Yeah.
And that Timber Saw, like, he looks survivable. That one time he TV'd bomb, like, oh man, he's going to do it. And then the rest of the time, he just got melted. Like, that Timber Saw did not feel survivable. I will say Spirit, they had that run of like 5 or 6 kills in a row there. At like, it was like 7 kills to 12. The Tiny was just running over some people. They were getting it done. And then one wasted Chrono is sometimes all it takes to just end a game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they had a chance. At the start, I was like, oh, hold up. You know, these guys, they've got 5 carries. They're even on net worth. 15 minutes in, they're getting away with it.
Yeah.
They're getting away with it. And then bam, slowly Dota 2 as a game kicked into action.
They need supports.
They've got supports. They've got a proper lineup. They've not got 5 cores. They're playing some Dota 2, and it crumbles. It crumbles big time.
Well, and it wasn't just the missed Chrono. It was when they whiffed that Chrono, right? It was like right when EHOME was hitting their stride. They had the Aegis. They had BKBs just finish on Gyrocopter, and it's like, what are you going to do to this team when they pop BKBs and run at you? And they didn't have an answer. So... yeah, that was the game.
It really was. I mean, it was as simple as you guys said. It was EHOME has that stable draft. Like we saw their first heroes are Rubik but you already know one lane right there. They just drafted slowly and surely, and you just win. I mean, you don't go out of your wheelhouse. You don't go out of your comfort. You don't have to. And now you're moving on, which does bring us to the, it's Team Spirit. They're done. What do you like from them, I would say? And maybe not that game, but like, this tournament in general, they obviously did make the major. Do you want to see? Obviously, want to see him stick around for next major run, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they do, I mean, it's always hard to tell with the CIS teams if they're going to sort of mix things about and
One
such.
player,
But
5 players. Yeah.
you know, I think we've seen, you know, some of the CIS squads obviously have proven it's good to stay together. What last season we saw, obviously the old Gambit sort of stick things out, and they got better and better and better. Do I think there's potential for the squad? I think so. You know, I think they've got some great names, some great minds. You know, Ghost sticking ILTW. So the big ones sort of looking at that, and sort of the newer ones, like Gabe was saying before, the immersions. You know, they have got a lot of skill there. I think that game, I do think the draft was a big risk to take in a best of one, but hey, that's what you got to do. We said going into this, EHOME was the favoured squad. I think, you know, EHOME, you as the underdogs in that matchup, you kind of do have to go for something a bit different. If they did go for a draft with sort of more standard supports, they probably would have lost as well. So why not try something that might have caught EHOME off guard? Exactly,
right.
You know, sort of come in with a bit of a surprising lineup to catch your more powerful opponents off guard. It didn't work out, but I applaud them for the try, and I do hope we see them, as the most part, stay together and go again, because I think there's definitely something there.
I'm just thinking, like, what if that Enchantress was a coddle? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Granted, your lane probably doesn't go as good up top with the Void, like getting that natural regen with the creeps, but like, I don't think that the problem was they needed more like impetus damage from like a level 12 Ench.
From a 5 Ench.
Right, exactly. Like, I think that just a little bit more control, double down on like the Timbersaw Chakra or whatever, you know, like a whole nother round of spells.
Yeah.
We saw that in the other
sure.
game.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
series.
It's very strong.
No, I think
coddle.
the Enchantress was definitely where things sort of went a bit crazy. I think they might have sort of jumped the gun picking it that early. I think they did want to have it on the off lane. Then they were sort of, you know, this Jara SD comes out and they're like, whoa, we can't really get away with a core Enchantress. We've got to sort of fit it in somewhere else. And that's the risk of picking a hero like Enchantress that early on. You know, it is going to get countered. And if you're trying to get away with it as a core, picking it that early, it's an incredibly high chance that the enemy is just going to have excellent heroes that force you to play it in a different capacity. And in a way that's not really optimal. There's a reason why we don't see every other team jumping at the chance to play support Ench at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, speaking of that Ench, it's Misha, the 5 player for Team Spirit. Used to be a carry player. Kind of a, how do I put this? It's always good to see another captain come out, right? Like, obviously, especially, you know, you go from a core role to like, I'm going to be a 5. You know, I don't want to do that anymore. Also, I think I lost my interview. So if we have the interview, make sure to let me know.
We don't even
I think
have
my
it in
thing
here,
died.
so it's up to you.
What?
I'm just going to hear if they yell at us. That's what I was going to find out about.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, you do not? Okay, so we will just
It's
need
all on
you guys
you,
to yell at
Grant.
us. Oh, God, yeah.
I think we've got an interview.
Okay.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I really can't hear, though.
Yeah.
No, but...
You talk about that 5 transition, though?
Yeah.
Fata. That's the perfect example of somebody that's been able to do it.
And he's owning with it, yeah.
He is.
He's
The
owning
entire
with it.
team's owning with it.
So how do you... I mean... It's just so hard, right? Going from a super greedy 1 role and then you're going to this 5 where you have to make like space for everyone, but you're also, you know, making these calls like, you know, I want to play Enchantress in this loser's bracket game. And it's interesting. I'm curious to see how it moves forward, right? Like, because you have to respect your captain, obviously, if you want to play under them.
Well, and I think that, you know, you meant the Captain and Trent were mentioning in the cast that, like, there was that one play where the Ench was pinging madly the Void. It was like, get back, get back, get back, and he stuck around and could have gotten caught. But
well, guess what? We got an interview, and I believe it is with the winners over on EHOME.
You pick Abaddon a lot during the previous game, but it didn't work really well. And in this game, you carry really hard with this hero. Do you have any special understanding of this hero?
这个英雄主要就是推塔和团战那个加血嘛，然后这盘就是对面线上比较弱，然后我线上无解肥，所以说就打出比较好的效果。之前别的就可能有别的原因吧，然后这个英雄主要就是这两个作用吧。
So this hero is really good at pushing tower and team fights, and I got so much fun during the laning phases. So I think the early game losing for some other reasons. I really love this hero.
好的，那么在新的赛季，EHOME也是迎来了一个新的阵容。在这一个新的阵容面前，你们有没有做一个全年的规划，或者说在这一年过程当中，你们的展望是怎样的
So what's your expectation and planning with this brand new roster?
全年的规划没有吧？是我们就先想好这个比赛，然后 这个 Major 现在大家状态也不算特别好吧，就希望能多进步一点。
So we didn't have any special game for the whole year, but I just want to focus on the game right now. We didn't play really well at this game, but we will try to play better in the later game.
好了，那么也是希望接下来的比赛EHOME能够一切顺利，预祝你们接下来能够取得一个更好的成绩。
Thank you for taking our interviews and best wishes to you.
接下来的话呢，让我们来期待下一场比赛的开始，一会儿见。
Looking forward to the next game.
Wow.
And yeah, that was not the craziest, most provocative interview. Pretty much just like, yeah, I picked the hero I wanted to play, and then we won with it. We didn't play anything special, but we won. And I guess from a team like EHOME, right, you got that prestige. You expect to win these BO1 elimination matches even now, and it felt like that's what he thought.
Well, and for as much of a stomp as that game was, it didn't sound like he was happy with his performance.
No, I think considering the first 10, 15 minutes of that game, it's understandable why he's sort of looking back and saying, well, we should not have been struggling like that in the lanes. I think, especially with the lineup that they had, their lanes should have gone better.
Well, and there were multiple times where it was like that Timbersaw would draw the attention of like 2, 3, 4 heroes, and then they would maybe get the kill, but it was like close to them not getting the kill or something. So it felt like they were getting kind of dragged around the map a lot, and that's not the style of Dota that I think they're used to playing, where they're like reacting. They're the ones that want to set the tempo. So I think it bodes well for their potential going forward that like they're not just, oh, we're happy with that win. We want to try harder and figure out our mistakes.
Yep, and now you're moving forward to the BO3s. You don't have to just prepare for this. Oh, God, we don't want to get this one hero cheesed. But, yeah, that's the end of that series. That means the next series, it will be Gambit. It will be Aster. Any just initial thoughts on that? And it kind of feels like the most even of the matchups to me, at least. I think both teams are pretty good. I don't know if you maybe think Aster or Gambit's better.
I think I would favour Aster, but I'd agree. I think I'd say Aster Gambit the difference is less compared to what we saw between EHOME and Spirit. So definitely a closer match, but still would certainly favour the Chinese team.
Yeah, I think Aster too. I didn't get to watch Gambit during the group stages that much, but seeing them at ESL, it was like that team looked very strong. But it's also like, what is the competition they're playing against? Aster to me looked like it could have been upper bracket team.
Top, yeah.
I think so at least. So I think that they're going to come in, at least for me, heavy favorites.
Yeah.
As long as SCCC doesn't play Ember.
There you go.
That was, I mean, even not memeing, that was a rough performance to watch.
If he plays Ember, it's over.
Then it might be.
Get out of here.
And the only thing, the only real big difference too I'm seeing between these two CS teams, Team Spirit and Team Gambit, you've got FNG, right? You have this guy, one of the few who has been a captain for a super long time, and going into a matchup like that, it's good to have, a more calm voice maybe going into this BO1. And man, 3 BO1s left today. We're going to know 3 of the eliminated teams, but it does mean we need to take a short break. When we get back, it will be Gambit, it will be Aster, so make sure you're still here.